Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the big books and the small books we can read. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ola. I am an artist, library worker, and the creator and director of a social art project called the Free Black Women's Library. Thank you for clicking on this video, and thank you for liking this video, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. Today, I'm talking to you about books because you know what? The Free Black Women's Library has existed for over 10 years now, and we have over 5,000 books in the collection. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Yeah, this place is overflowing with books, all written by Black women and Black non-binary authors. And part of what has grown this collection is the generosity of people from all over the world who send me books for the collection. I get book mail at least once a week from someone in some part of the world as far away as South Africa, as close as Philly. The Free Black Women's Library is in Brooklyn, New York City, for those who may not know. And so I got a book box this week from one of my favorite people who has been donating books to the library for many, many moons now. I'm not sure if I should say her name, but she knows who she is if she's watching this video. So I'm going to do an unboxing and show y'all what she sent for the collection. All right, so we're going to talk about books, and I'm going to let y'all know what books she sent us and also if I've read these books and so on like that. And feel free to leave me a comment and let me know if you have read any of these books as well. So let's get into this book box. All right, so I've already cut the box open, so that y'all don't have to suffer through that part. Now let's see. The first book in this box is called Praise Song for the Widow, and it is by Pauli Marshall. Pauli Marshall is the Caribbean author who has written a lot of books. She wrote Brown Girl Brownstone. She wrote a book called Daughter, Chosen Place, Timeless People. Praise Song for the Window is definitely one of my favorite books. It's really heart-wrenching. It's about migration. It's about growth. It's about a middle-aged Black woman who is a widow, who's given to wearing hats, gloves, and pearls. And she goes on this journey. This book had me in my feelings in a really deep way, and I actually love it. It's very poetic. One of my favorite pieces of fiction for sure. As a middle-aged Black woman, I was really excited to experience that representation. And also as a Caribbean author, the certain types of language, it takes place in the Caribbean. The language that's used is very specific to that region. So yeah, this is a good book. Highly recommend if you're looking for some good fiction. As you can see, it's not very long, but it is a bit of an intense read. It's not lighthearted at all, but very, very good. All right. Next book in this box is How We Get Free, Black Feminism and the Combahee River Collective, edited by Kianga Yamahata Taylor. I've also read this book. I really love this book. This book features the members of the Combahee River Collective, which was a group of radical Black feminists who launched a pretty much a movement through their work. And this was in the 1960s and 1970s. For those who don't know about the Combahee River Collective statement, please feel free to Google that statement. You should be able to find a PDF online. If not, send me a message and I'll send you the PDF that I have. But this is a statement that the Combahee River Collective made, establishing their politic, establishing their purpose, and just really, it is a core Black feminist text. It's incredibly important. So highly recommend you read that. But this book features interviews with the members of the collective and some other Black feminists as well. So in this book, you have an interview with Barbara Smith and Beverly Smith, Demita Frazier, Alicia Garza, who was not a member of the Combahee River Collective, but was part of one of the founding members of the Black Lives Matter movement, with Patrisse Cullors and Opal Tometi. And it also features an interview with Barbara Ramsey. Now, Keeanga-Yamahtta Taylor is an award-winning author and a professor of African American Studies at Princeton, and an activist and an amazing, just like speaker, really brilliant person. So I enjoy her work. And I enjoyed this because I like reading interviews. I like reading people's words as they're coming out of their mouths. How We Get Free, Black Feminism and the Combahee River Collective. This is a quick read. So for those who are interested in Black feminist theory, Black feminist praxis, recommend this one for sure. Now, the next book in this box, speaking of Black feminism, is one of my absolute favorites, Black Feminist Thought by Patricia Hill Collins. I have a PDF of this book as well. So if you need it, holla at your girl. Listen, for those who really want to understand the purpose, the praxis, the theory, the shaping, the foundation, the grounding, the beauty, for me, I'm a Black feminist. I identify as such. The brilliance of Black feminist thought. This is one of the Bibles. This is one of the Bibles by Patricia Hill Collins. And I'll read the back. In spite of the double burden of racial and gender discrimination, African American women have developed a rich intellectual tradition that is not widely known. In Black Feminist Thought, originally published in 1990, Patricia Hill Collins set out to explore the words and ideas of Black feminist intellectuals and writers, both within the academy and without. Here, Collins provides an interpretive framework for the work of such prominent Black feminist thinkers such as Angela Davis, Bell Hooks, Alice Walker, and Audre Lorde. Drawing from fiction, poetry, music, and oral history, the result is a superbly crafted and revolutionary book that provided the first synthetic overview of Black feminist thought and its canon. I love this book. This is a must-have. For those of you who are interested in Black feminism, please add this to your library, your personal library, and read it repeatedly. It's not an easy read. It's pretty dense. It's very academic. And it's something that I feel like is meant to be read with others. I've done a couple of reading clubs and book discussions about Black feminist thought, and I plan to do more. So stay tuned. Next book in the box. This book is called A Renaissance of Our Own, and it is written by Rachel Cargle. A Renaissance of Our Own, a memoir of manifesto on reimagining. We love a manifesto and we love a memoir. Now, I have not read this book yet, but I am a fan of Rachel Cargle. I follow her on Instagram and I always love her posts. I think she's a beautiful writer just from reading her captions. So I'm sure this is a really good read. It says, from a highly lauded modern voice in feminism and racial justice comes a deeply personal and insightful testament to the power of reimagining to dismantle the frameworks and systems that no longer serve us while building new ones that do. So I see a theme here. I see like a Black feminist theme taking place within this book box so far with these three. So that's pretty cool. Next book. Oh my God. This book is one of my favorite books of all time. Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo by Ntozake Shange. Listen, you want to talk about hoodoo? You want to talk about where there's a woman, there is magic? You want to talk about mothers and daughters? You want to talk about sisterhood, travel, coming of age, just beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful writing, beautiful relationships between three sisters, Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo, and their mom. You want to talk about Black motherhood, the complications of Black motherhood, and being free, freedom for Black women characters. What does that look like? I love this book. I love this book. I love this book. I have read For Color Girls, and I think that might be it as far as Into Saki Shange. I've read For Color Girls and I've read this, and I also had a chance to visit her archives at Barnard College Library, so I read some of her archives. But yeah, this is one of my favorite books of all time. So, as I said, this particular person has been sending the library books for years, and she always sends us top tier stuff for the collection. So, she is a book angel. That's what I call these people that send us good books for the collection. They're book angels. So, yeah, if you're looking for a good book, a good read, this is a guaranteed good read. I'll read a little bit of the back. Into Saki Shange's beloved Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo is the story of three sisters and their mother from Charleston, South Carolina. Sassafras, the oldest, is a poet and a weaver, like her mother before her. Having gone north to college, she is now living in Los Angeles with other artists and trying to fashion a life for herself out of her work, her man, her memories, and her dreams. Cypress, the dancer, leaves home to discover new ways of moving in the world. Indigo, the youngest, is still a child of Charleston, too much of the South in her, who lives in poetry and has the supreme gift of seeing the obvious magic of the world. A rich and wondrous story of womanhood, art, and passion, lived lives, is written with such exquisite care and beauty that anybody can relate to her message. Shout out to Into Saki Shange, who is a renowned playwright, poet, novelist, feminist, prolific genius. She wrote so many books. Another book by her is called Lillian. She wrote so many books and also tons of poetry. And she was also a Libra. Her birthday was October 18th, I believe. So, yeah, another good book in this pile. I'm going to lay this down right here. And it's such a pretty cover. Isn't that pretty? I love the forest element. Next up, ooh, The Womanist Reader. What y'all know about womanism? Let me know in comments. The Womanist Reader, this collection of classic womanist essays is a gem so badly needed in our bleak times. These grand prophetic and poetic voices unsettle and inspire us. I don't know why they had Cornel West write the blurb for a book on womanism. I don't know why. That's kind of odd to me. But yes, the first person or the first thing I read that introduced me to the concept of womanism was Alice Walker. She has an anthology called In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. And in that book is the first time I'd encountered the concept of womanism. I have since come to read a bunch of other different works, but that was my introduction to the concept, as far as like womanism as compared to Black feminism. And sometimes people see them in opposition to each other, but I feel like they're connected. And I definitely can see myself as a womanist and a Black feminist as well. So I pull from both elements. I have not read this book, and I'm definitely curious about it. It says comprehensive in its coverage. The Womanist Reader is the first volume to anthologize the major works of womanist scholarship, charting the course of womanist theory from its genesis in Alice Walker's African American Feminism through Chikwenye Okonjo's African Womanism, Africana Womanism, and a present day expression as a global anti-oppressionist perspective rooted in the praxis of everyday women of color. This sounds interesting. It is edited by Laylee Phillips, who is an associate professor of women's studies at Georgia State. The Womanist Reader. I think I'm gonna try to read this. I think I'm gonna be checking this one out. Yeah, I need to know more about that. Next up, You Don't Know Us Negroes and Other Essays. This is an essay collection from Zora Neale Hurston. And this is one of those essay collections that was released after she passed, which I have weird feelings about when books come out after an author passes away. How do y'all feel about that? Like, is that not weird? I don't know. It feels a little weird to me sometimes, but either way, it features an introduction by Henry Louis Gates and Geneva West. And it's a collection of her essays, provocative essays spanning more than 3 decades, penned during the birth of the Harlem Renaissance through the early days of the Civil Rights Movement. I have not read a lot of Zora's nonfiction outside of her memoir, Dust Tracks on the Road, which kind of reads like fiction. I have mainly read her fiction. So I'm definitely curious to read her essays. She's a controversial figure, and I'm curious to just kind of get a better understanding of her politic, which I don't have a really true awareness or understanding of. I've only read her fiction and I've enjoyed it. Southern narratives are something I enjoy. I'm not from the South, but I have like a love and a reverence and appreciation for Black Southern culture. And that's Zora is the first author who kind of exposed that to me through her book, Their Eyes Were Watching God. Classic text. So yeah, this is another beautiful cover. It reminds me of a print by Elizabeth Catlett, a Black woman artist. She has a print that kind of looks like this. Anywho, next book. Oh, we have 2 left. This is a poetry collection featuring the badass beauty Nikki Giovanni. May she rest in peace. It's called Quilting the Black-Eyed Pea. Poems and not quite poems. Nikki Giovanni. Listen, Nikki Giovanni was everything in terms of poets. It says, in Quilting the Black-Eyed Pea, Nikki Giovanni turns her pen to nature and the environment, the might and grace of woman, her battle with cancer, the relationships between mothers and daughters, the state of the nation, and more. Nikki Giovanni is definitely one of my favorite poets. I feel like if somebody was watching this video and they took a shot every time I said the word favorite, they'd probably be drunk. But yeah, Nikki Giovanni. This is a poem called The Wind in the Bottle. Twice she dreamed of rainbows, not for the pots of gold, nor the elves basking in the colors, but the symmetry of the line going up and down. Once she wished for wings, or at least red shoes to ease on down the road. Often she worries, 2 arms, 1 head, 1 heart. Can't protect the falling fruit. Something will stay on the tree and rot. Something will fall behind. Twice she dreamed of rainbows, playing hide and seek with the clouds. The colors defy the sun. Who kisses the wind? Good night. Yo, Nikki Giovanni was the GOAT when it came to poetry. May she rest in peace. Check out her book, Beyond Mars or something like that. I'll write the proper title in the comments because it's really good. All right, so that's it for this box. This is the last book. It's called The Portable Feminist Reader. And it's edited by the great Roxane Gay, another one of my favorite writers. This is a dynamic and strikingly relevant look at a feminist canon as expansive rather than definitive. Now, for Roxane Gay, a feminist canon is subjective and always evolving. I agree. Feminism is constantly evolving. Black feminism specifically is constantly evolving, expanding, shifting, changing, growing with the times. It's not a static theory. It's requires movement, growth, study, discourse, praxis. So I agree with that. She says a feminist canon represents a long history of feminist scholarship, embraces skepticism, and invites robust discussion and debate. Agreed. In this book, we hear the voices of Anna Julia Cooper, the GOAT, Kimberly Crenshaw, African American Policy Forum. Kimberly Crenshaw is the one who started the Say Her Name campaign, which brought attention to the fact that Black women and girls are also victims of state violence. Voices featured also include Bell Hooks. We know we love Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, Guerrilla Girls, and so much more. So that's the Feminist Reader. And the cover is by Nina Chanel. Nina Chanel, shout out to Nina, an amazing artist who's doing like big things in the world of public art, especially. So yeah. So these are all the books we got. How many books did she send us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books total, which will now be added to the Free Black Women's Library book collection. And for those who may not know, the way that you take books out of the library is through a trading system where for every book you bring, you get to take a book as long as it's in good condition, it's written by a Black woman or a Black non-binary author, and it's not on our no trade list. There are certain books we're not taking right now because we just have way too many copies. So oftentimes people will bring one book and they'll choose a book and they trade. And that book that you take, you can keep it forever, you can bring it back or trade it for something else. So I love when people just like trade books constantly and they're just changing their reading practice and they're just expanding their reading practice in different ways. But thank you to this beautiful, lovely, generous, kind, wonderful, good taste having book angel who sent us these 9 texts for our collection. They are going to get stamped, logged into our database, and then added to the shelves. Some of them might go in special collections, which means that those books don't get traded. I'm thinking the Womanist Reader, because we don't have anything like this in the collection. So that's probably going to go in special collections and just be used as a reference in a study text here in the space. And the rest of them will be available for trade. All right. So thanks for watching. If you watched this video, please like it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what books you're reading, if you've read any of these. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.